The rain poured down in sheets, cold, relentless, and loud enough to drown out the world. But even through the storm, Anthony Hale noticed something unusual. There, by the edge of his mansion's garden, someone was sitting on the cold ground, eating from a small container. In the rain that he squinted through the glass window that it was Maria, his maid. And then he saw it. She was crying. That moment changed everything to the hook. A millionaire who had everything. And knew Anthony Hale was the kind of man people respected from a distance but feared up close at just 42. He owned hotels across the country, had luxury cars in every city he visited, and lived in a mansion where silence echoed more loudly than any sound. That he wasn't cruel, but he was detached. That he lived by his own rule. Everyone has their job. Do it. No excuses. And that was how he treated his staff, professionally, efficiently, and without personal interest. But that night, the rain uncovered something he never imagined. The night it all, Anthony had returned from a business trip earlier than expected. He was exhausted, irritated, and hungry. He asked the house staff for dinner. But one person was missing. Maria, the maid responsible for preparing his meals. She was always punctual, always reliable, never late. Annoyed, he went to look for her himself. That's when he saw her through the window, sitting alone outside in the pouring rain, clutching a small food container, eating quickly as if hiding from someone. Thunder cracked overhead, and she flinched. His irritation faded, replaced by something unfamiliar, concern. Why was she out there? Why was she eating alone? And why in the rain? He stepped outside to discover Maria. He called out. She jerked up, startled, her eyes wide and wet. Not from rain, but from tears. Sir, I'm sorry. I'll come inside. I didn't mean, why are you out here? He asked, softening his tone. She hesitated. I didn't want to disturb you, sir. That doesn't explain why you're in the rain. She lowered her head. It's complicated. But Anthony wasn't a man who accepted vague answers. Explain. Her voice trembled. I haven't eaten since yesterday morning. I didn't want anyone to notice I brought my own leftover food, and I can't eat inside the kitchen because the smell might bother the staff. Anthony stared at her, stunned. Who told you that? She shook her head. No one. I just didn't want to cause any trouble. I know my place. Her place? Something tightened in Anthony's chest. But before he could speak, Maria's phone rang. She looked at it, and her face went pale. The call that revealed everything. Is everything all right? Anthony asked. That Maria's hands shook. It's my son, the hospital. I have to go. She ran toward the gate, but stopped when she saw the heavy rain. That Anthony's instincts kicked in. I'll drive you, he said. No, sir. I can take the bus. It will take too long. Get in the car. She didn't argue. Minutes later, they were speeding through the flooded streets toward the city hospital. The truth about inside the pediatric ward. A small boy lay hooked up to tubes, oxygen helping his little lungs fight for breath. This is my son, she whispered. Matteo. Anthony noticed her hands. They were rough, cracked, and cold. How had he never seen how exhausted she always looked? A doctor approached. Miss Maria, we need to discuss the payment. The last installment is overdue. Her face crumbled. I'm trying. Please, I just need a little more time. I'm working extra shifts. Anthony stepped forward. What's wrong with her son? The doctor sighed. Matteo has a rare respiratory condition. The treatment is costly. Without continued care, he may not survive. Maria covered her mouth as tears spilled down her face. I'm doing everything I can, she whispered. I work 2 jobs. I barely sleep. I haven't eaten properly for days. But I can't lose him. He's all I have. Anthony felt the words hit him like a blow. That he thought she was just quiet. He didn't know she was breaking. That he thought she was just humble. He didn't know she was drowning. That the challenges she faced for years, Maria had been. Waking up at 4 a.m. to clean houses, working full-time at Anthony's mansion, taking a night shift at a laundromat, skipping meals to pay medical bills, taking buses for 4 hours a day to save money, hiding her pain because she feared losing her job every day. She walked into Anthony's mansion with a smile, hiding the truth. She was fighting to keep her child alive. The turning point. Anthony stepped outside the hospital room. Overwhelmed, he had always believed that life was fair. Work hard, earn money, live well. But here was a woman who worked harder than anyone he knew, and suffered more than he could comprehend. A question echoed in his mind. How many people in my life are hurting, and I never bothered to look? When he returned to the room, Maria was holding her son's tiny hand. Whispering prayers, he made a decision. That a millionaire's heart softens. Maria, he said gently. You're not alone in this. She looked up, confused. I'm covering all of Mateo's medical expenses. Starting today, she gasped, Sir, and oh, I can't accept that. I don't want charity. This isn't charity, he replied. It's responsibility. I should have seen you were struggling. I should have paid attention. You're part of my staff, my home. I failed you. Maria broke down. Thank you, she sobbed. Thank you, sir. God bless you. But he wasn't done in the following days. He reduced her work hours, increased her salary, hired extra help, gave her transportation support, set up a medical fund for Mateo, allowed her to rest and spend time with her son. And for the first time, Anthony visited his own staff lounge, sat with them, and asked, How are you doing? Really? The mansion changed, he changed. And it all began with a meal in the rain, the heartbreaking Arlo one evening. After Mateo stabilized and smiled again for the first time in days, Maria told Anthony something that shook him. Sir, the food I was eating in the rain, it wasn't even mine. What do you mean? I saved it from the leftovers at the mansion. I didn't want to waste food, and some nights I didn't have money for a meal. Anthony felt a sharp pain in his chest. All that wealth, all that food wasted at his dining table, and she was eating scraps in the rain, grateful for them. That night, Anthony vowed to change not just Maria's life, but the lives of all his staff. The powerful ending in months passed. Mateo recovered fully. Maria smiled more often. The staff no longer feared Anthony. They respected him for who he became. And Anthony, he realized something he had forgotten long ago. Kindness doesn't weaken you, it transforms you. The day he saw Maria eating in the rain was the day he finally learned what it meant to be human. Call to action for your If this story touched your heart, comment below and tell us. What lesson did you learn from Maria and Anthony's story? Your thoughts matter, and we love reading your comments. Red heart, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Be Kind Always, where every story reminds us that kindness can change lives. Glowing star.